Hi, this is my take on the Ohio Class A CDL pre-trip inspection. We're going to start out, the truck's not leaning left nor right. There's no puddles to indicate a leak, and there's no hanging wires. The clearance lights and turn signals are amber in color with no cracked or broken lenses. The headlights are clean and clear with no cracked or broken lenses. We then come to the passenger side, to the exhaust stack. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. The clamps are tight, and there's no soot to indicate a leak. We lift the hood. Our coolant reservoir, securely mounted. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. All the connections are tight and secure. Follow this hose down to the water pump. The water pump is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks, and it is belt driven. We go to the alternator. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. All connections are tight. There's no cut, bare, or exposed wires. It's also belt driven. The belt's not cut nor frayed and has no more than 3/4 of an inch of play in the belt. All connections and wires on this side are free of damage and secure connect. On this side, driver's side, we've got our power steering reservoir, securely mounted. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks, and the fluid level is the appropriate range between low and full. The connections are tight, no leaks. We'll follow those down to our power steering pump. It's right back here on the engine block. Securely mounted, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks, and it is gear driven. Directly in front of that is our air compressor. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks, and it is also gear driven. We come up to our dipsticks, our engine oil and transmission dipsticks. I'll check them by first removing them, wiping them off, reinserting, pulling back out, and making sure that they're in the appropriate range between add and full. Transmission fluid I would check by starting the truck and then checking it. And then takes us to our steering shaft. Steering shaft, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. U-joints are properly greased. Comes down to our steering box, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks. Attached to that's our pitman arm. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then our drag link, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Tie rod, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. That connects to our steering knuckle, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. These components are attached with a castle nut, and cotter keys are in place. Everything's secure. That completes our steering system. Next will be our suspension. Our front and rear spring mounts are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our leaf springs, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, no missing or shifted leaves. They're attached down to the axle with these U-bolts. Our U-bolts are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no shiny threads to indicate looseness. Next is our shock absorber. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, or leaking. The bushings are in place. That completes our front suspension. Our front braking system consists of this bigger brake hose, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. And then this smaller ABS wire, securely mounted, no cut, bare, or exposed wires in that. This is our brake chamber. Brake chamber is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, not leaking, and the clamp is tight. Next is our push rod and our slack adjuster. They're securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Pins and cotter keys are in place. With the brakes released and the front wheels chalked, I will not be able to move the slack adjuster more than 1 inch. Next is our brake drum, the inside of the wheel. Our brake drum is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, and our linings are not worn dangerously thin to less than 1/4 inch. That completes our braking system in the front. Our tire, both the inner and outer sidewall, there's no cuts, bulges, or abrasions. There's no separation. Tread is evenly worn, and the tread depth is in excess of 4/32 of an inch. The front wheel, this has a hubcap on it, but it's a steel wheel behind it. All the lug nuts are in place, are secure, are tight. There's none missing. There's no shiny threads or rust trails from them to indicate looseness. The rim is securely mounted. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized welds. And the valve stem is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, nor leaking. I would check the air pressure with that with a tire gauge. Next will be the hub assembly, which is directly on the back side of this. All bolts are in place. There's none missing. It's securely mounted. No shiny threads to indicate looseness. There's a little rubber cap that you'll pull to inspect to check the oil level. Next is the door mirror. It's securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our steps are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. They hold my weight. The fuel tank is securely mounted to the frame with these straps. It's not bent, damaged, no cuts, no leaks. These straps have rubber underneath them. The fuel cap is tight and has a gasket under it. The door opens and closes freely. The hinges aren't loose or binding. The weather stripping is in place and is not dry rotted. On the truck side, our catwalk is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our front marker light is amber in color, no cracked or broken lens. DOT tape is in place, not cut or damaged. Our rear marker light is red in color, no cracked or broken lens. Underneath is our frame. Our truck frame is not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized welds. Underneath, between the frame rails, is the drive shaft. The drive shaft is securely mounted. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, not twisted, and the U-joints are properly greased. Our rear suspension, consisting of, and here's part of our leaf springs. Our leaf springs, front and rear spring mounts, and our leaf springs and our U-bolts are all properly secured. No cracked, broken, or missing parts. No missing or shifted leaves. And U-bolts have no shiny threads to indicate looseness. We would basically check this the same way as we did on the steering axle. Our brake system in the rear, consisting of the brake drum, the linings, the slack adjuster, the push rod, the chamber, the clamp, the brake hose, and the ABS wire, we would inspect the same way as we did the steering axle. Our tires on the rear, we will also inspect the same way as we did the steering axle, with the exception that the rear tires have no less than 2/32 of an inch tread depth. There's no debris between them. There's separation, they're not rubbing. Our rear wheels, we would inspect the same way as we did the steering axle. These are Budd rims, and once again, there is nothing between these. We would inspect the lug nuts, the valve stem, and the hub the same way as we did the steering axle. Our mud flap, securely mounted. It's not hanging dangerously low. It's not damaged, tore, or anything like that. With the rear of our truck, got our chain ties, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our brake lights and turn signals. These are both. And our marker lights are all red in color, no cracked or broken lenses. Our tailgate latch, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. And our tailgate hinge pins up there, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our license plate, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Registration's up to date. This truck will have rear DOT tape when we take the test. It will be securely mounted. There will be no cuts or abrasions to it. On the back, our hitch plate, our pintle hitch is mounted securely. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. The bolts are tight, and there's no shiny threads to indicate looseness. Cotter key is in place, keeping it locked. Trailer pintle securely mounted to the tongue. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Bolts are tight. Once again, no shiny threads to indicate looseness. Our chains are securely mounted to the truck. They're not hanging dangerously low. They're not worn excessively. They're not twisted. Our breakaway cable is secure. It's not hanging dangerously low. There's no cuts or tears to the cable. It's in good shape. And our electrical connection, securely mounted. There's no cut, bare, or exposed wires. Our trailer jack, securely mounted to the trailer. There's no cracks, bends, or breaks in that. Our landing gear is all the way up. Our trailer tongue, securely mounted. It's not bent, cut, or damaged in any way. Our DOT tape is in place, not cut, tore, or damaged. And our cross member, both here and throughout the underside of our trailer, are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, no damage. Our front marker lens on our trailer is amber in color, no cracked or broken lens. Our trailer header, securely mounted, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. Our trailer deck is clear and free of debris. And all of our chain ties around our trailer are securely mounted. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. Our trailer fender is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. And all of our tires, we would inspect the same way as we did the drive axle of the truck. Our rear wheels on this trailer, we would inspect the same way as we did the wheels on the drive axle of our truck, with the exception that these hubs are properly filled with grease instead of oil. Suspension, this also maintains a leaf spring suspension consisting of spring mounts, leaf springs, and U-bolts. It's all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No shiny threads to indicate looseness. Our brakes, this trailer has electric brakes. The drums, not cracked, bent, or broken. The linings are not worn dangerously thin to less than 1/4 inch. And our electrical connection to the brakes, there's no cut, bare, or exposed wires. Rear DOT tapes in place, no cuts or abrasions. Our rear marker lens, turn signals, and brake lights are securely mounted. There's no cracked or broken lenses. Our license plate, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Registration's also up to date on this trailer. Our frame of the trailer, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized welds. At this point, this completes our exterior inspection. We will now step in cab to do in-cab inspection.
Till we jump in.
Was it bad?
It's still going.
Yeah. in the vehicle and you shut your door, the first thing you're going to do is take your seat belt, securely mounted to the truck. There's no cuts or frays. You're going to latch it and unlatch it, and it does so freely and securely. Next thing we're going to say is that our 3 safety items are located under the seat. We have a fully charged 10 BC fire extinguisher, 3 reflective triangles, and a spare fuse for every size this truck takes. This truck doesn't take fuses, it takes circuit breakers. Our mirrors, driver's side and passenger side, securely mounted, they're clean and clear, and they're adjusted to my vision. Our windshield is clean and clear, there's no cracks, the seal is in place, and it has no leaks. The floor around my feet is free of debris. There's nothing going to get in the way of the pedals. At this point, we can do a safe start. Can turn the key to the on position. The ABS light and the DEF light both come on. When the ABS light goes out, and I start the vehicle. Turn on the headlights to see my gauges. Oil pressure begins to rise within 5 seconds, or I'll shut the truck off. The DEF fluid is filled to an appropriate amount. The water temperature begins to rise as the engine warms up. We have an appropriate amount of fuel. Our voltmeter is between 12 and 14 volts, and our air pressure is rising to around 120 psi. We will show that our defroster and heater work. Our windshield wipers and washer fluid work. Our windshield wipers hold the proper tension to the windshield and clear it appropriately. We'll show that our indicator lights on the dash work. We'll display our left turn signal, our right turn signal, our hazards, and our high beams. All the lights function on the dash. At this point, we may test our parking brake. We put our foot on the service brake, bring the shifter into drive, 6th gear, let off the brake, give it a little gas to display that the truck did not roll forward, the parking brake held. We can then test our service brake. Push in the service brake and the parking brake, release the service brake, roll forward approximately 5 feet, hit the brakes. The truck did not pull left or right. Now we will test that our electric trailer brakes work appropriately. We will also roll forward, hit our trailer brake. Our trailer brakes held. Pulled the trailer forward, they slid, but the brakes were functional. Next, we'll put the transmission in neutral, leave the parking brake in, released. We will shut the truck off. We can also display that our horn, both city horn and air horn, both function appropriately. We can do an air loss test at this point.
Blue Ash.
Ensure that our parking brake is pushed in, transmission's in neutral, and I will hold the service brake for 1 minute and ask the instructor to time me, and in 1 minute I will not lose more than 3 psi. They may or may not ask you to hold that for a minute. If they don't, or even if they do, make sure to say that you did not lose more than 3 psi in that 1 minute. Next, we're going to test that our low air alarm and light both come on at around 60 psi. We will do that by pumping the braking system. The alarm and light did come on at around 60 psi, at or above. We'll continue to pump. At around 30 psi, at or above, the parking brake will pop out. It popped out at just over 30 psi. At this point, this concludes our in-cab inspection with the exception of checking that our lights work. We will then ask the instructor to step out of the vehicle. When they step out, we will instruct them that we want to test our lights. They will start with the front of the vehicle. You may, or they may, depending on how the test goes, instruct on which lights will be coming on. You will test the left turn signal, the right turn signal, the hazards, and the high beams. They will also be looking at your clearance lamps. They will then go to the back of the vehicle and ensure that both the back of the vehicle's turn signals, left and right, hazards, and brake lights, along with on the trailer, all illuminate and work properly. This concludes our Class A CDL pre-trip inspection.